Hey guys, this is your host Brian from the OutSpoken SportsCast, and I got your extra point for you right here. And we talked a little bit on it on last night's episode, um, but let me start off with this real quick, okay? I'm gonna throw out some stats here, and you tell me if this guy is worth paying top dollar for. 0 playoff wins, okay? The guy has led you to no playoff wins. He's never thrown for over 4,000 yards. Not one season. He's never threw 30 touchdowns. All right. He has a losing record as a quarterback. And yes, we are talking about quarterbacks or quarterback. Never led his team to a division title. He's thrown double digit interceptions each year he's played. Do you think this guy is worth the contract that he got? And we're talking about Kyler Murray. Do you think he's worth it? I don't. I don't think he's worth it. For all the reasons I just listed. If you go look at his stats, he's been in the league 3 seasons. He's completed 64, 67, and 69% of his passes. He's come close to 4,000 yards, but never broke that. The most he's thrown is 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and he's got a quarterback rating last year of 100. Okay? It's not too terrible. But my problem with this is you're paying this guy an elite contract. He's the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Kyle Murray, to me, is not elite. Okay? He is not elite. He's in that second tier quarterback. And depending on where you have that second tier, he might even be at the third tier. He's at the bottom of the second tier, probably. Maybe the beginning of the third tier. I don't believe in this guy. And the Cardinals organization, there's been some weird back and forth between Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, and the Cardinals coming out and saying this guy's immature, questioning his leadership, questioning if he's got what it takes. He's selfish, and then all of a sudden, it's all behind him, and they've gave him this massive contract, $46 million a year. They gave him a 5-year, $230.5 million contract with 160 guaranteed and $105 million signing bonus. It's a lot of money for a guy that I don't think is ever going to win a championship. I don't think he's going to lead you to the promised land. I think it's way overpaid. And when you look at those things I just told you, now he's only played 3 years. Could he turn into an elite quarterback? Maybe. Maybe I'm completely wrong, Kyle Murray. I believe, but everyone I've talked to thinks that this guy's overrated. I wonder if Arizona Cardinal fans think he's overrated because you're going to have him for the next at least 3 years. If he finishes the 5 years, cool, but maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I think the Arizona Cardinals were a fluke last season. Okay. I think, like I said last night on the podcast, I think they drop off this year. They're not going to win their division, and I think they're looking for a new head coach at the end of the season because of the fact that they have these high expectations and they're not met. There's talent around Kyle Murray. There's no question they have a talented football team. They just don't ever put it together. And last year they put it together for a little bit. Some games they got lucky on, and some games every team gets lucky on. They fell apart during the last half. There was problems with Kyle Murray not wanting to go into the game. Some weird things going on, but they've apparently squashed the beef, water under the bridge. They paid the guy, and a lot of you guys will go, well, what else are they going to do? What are the other options? And I guess you could be right, but when you pay a guy to be elite, and he takes up a big percentage of your salary cap, which he will take up a huge spot there. That takes away money from other positions, and that's how that works. The more cap space you take up per one person, it eats into the money that you have to build a team around you. Now he does got talent. But when you overpay guys that aren't playing, when you pay them to be elite and they're not elite, that's when you start hurting yourself. Go look at the Dallas Mavericks with Brunson. Everyone's like, oh, they need to keep Brunson. They need to keep Brunson. They need to keep him. I was fine with letting him go because they were going to overpay to keep a guy that didn't score and put up the stats to match that contract. And there's and I get it. It's that leapfrog mentality of the quarterback carousel we got in the NFL right now. It's the next man up, right? And I'm waiting for the team. And I've talked about it last night. I'm waiting for the team to go, you know what? We're not going to go there with you. We don't think you're worth it. And then move on. I think it'll happen eventually because the numbers are getting outrageous. The numbers are getting outrageous to the quarterback market. The numbers are getting outrageous for the wide receiver market. And the numbers are getting outrageous for cornerbacks, for defensive ends. How can you expect a team to build a championship team when you've got to pay the quarterback, the cornerback, the running back, the star wide receiver, the defensive end, and they want top dollar, right? They want to be the highest paid. And when we look at these QB salaries, Aaron Rodgers is number one, 50.3 million dollars a year for a 3-year contract. I don't think he's worth $50 million a year. I think that was a high price. Kyler Murray's number 2, 46. Deshaun Watson's number 3. He won't play in some games this year. Maybe he gets suspended all year, and he's making $46 million. Okay. Patrick Mahomes is next at 45. Josh Allen's at 5 with 43. And then you're talking about Derek Carr and Dak Prescott. And you got some quarterbacks on this list. Like, I think Dak Prescott's one of them. Derek Carr is one of them. Kirk Cousins is on here at number 9 with $35 million. They've got to prove if they're worth that contract. I think a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans are still wondering if Dak is worth the $40 million. And I talked about this before. This is his year to prove that or not. But we'll stick with Kyle Murray. This is the extra point topic. I think he's overpaid. I think the Cardinals have a decent quarterback. He's a good quarterback. They're paying him to be an elite quarterback. And he's not going to be an elite quarterback. They question his leadership. They've questioned his maturity. They've questioned his selfishness. And that's a guy that, to me, doesn't seem like he's ready to lead the NFL team to take it to the next level, to the Super Bowl. I think they'll be above average football team, and they're going to probably be second place in their division. They could make the playoffs, but I just don't think Kyle Murray is going to get them to the championship. I don't know what their other options were, and you can always make that argument. Well, what's their other option? I don't know, but maybe Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe someone else. I don't know. Okay, but overpaying someone to be elite just to keep them is going to hurt you in the long run. And this will be on the GM. This GM signing Kyle Murray this long after the very public debacle argument you guys had is going to make or break this GM and this head coach in Cliff Kingsbury. They used a first-round draft pick on Josh Rosen. They get a new coach. He uses the first pick next year on Kyle Murray. And Kyle Murray's better than Josh Rosen, but I don't think Kyle Murray's leading him to a championship. And if he's not that guy and you're paying him elite money, it's a waste. And I'm not wrong there if he doesn't turn out to be elite. I just think he falls off at the end of his seasons. I think he does have leadership issues. I think the whole not wanting to go in the football game last season was just insane when that story came out. I going back over these 0 playoff wins. He's never thrown for 4,000 yards. He's never thrown for 30 touchdowns. He has a losing record as a quarterback, and he's never won a division. And it's been 3 years, and granted, his division's tough. But I think Kyle Murray's contract will hurt the Cardinals in the long run when he doesn't take them to a championship. You could trade for a different quarterback. You could trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, and I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Kyle Murray. but he's going to be cheaper. Maybe you can put someone else around him. They could have drafted a quarterback, and I think the way the league is going, you should draft a quarterback every year, third or fourth round. It has got to be a first round pick. You can hit on guys in the third round, fourth round. Dak Prescott was a third round draft pick, and he's way exceeded his expectations for a third round draft pick. But Kyle Murray, will he live up to this contract? I hope he proves me wrong for you Cardinal fans, but I'm just not seeing it. I don't think he's worth the amount of money he just got paid. And now I can say the same thing about Rodgers. Do I think Aaron Rodgers is worth $50 million? I don't think any quarterback's worth $50 million, but that's a different story, I guess. That's your extra point this week. I just wanted to get that out there and let me know if I am right or wrong. Let me know your opinions on this. And guys, God bless, and remember, keep it outspoken.